In recent months, growing attention has returned to Courtney, as many fans and entertainment observers begin asking the same question. What really happened to the singer who once captured global attention with her extraordinary voice? First rose to international recognition after her unforgettable audition on America's Got Talent, where her powerful performance quickly became one of the most talked about moments of the season. At the time, viewers were struck not only by her vocal ability, but also by the contrast between her quiet personality offstage and her intense energy once the music started. Following that breakthrough appearance, built a strong global and gained recognition as one of the most unique young voices in modern talent show history. However, in the years that followed, her public appearances became less frequent, leading many fans to wonder about the direction of her career. Now, as discussions about her potential plans for 2026 begin circulating, interest in her story is growing once again. Analysts say the renewed attention highlights how memorable her early performances were and why audiences remain curious about her next move. After her rise to fame, her career entered a quieter phase that left some fans wondering what was happening behind the scenes. In the entertainment industry, this kind of period is not unusual, particularly for artists who first achieve recognition at a young age. Early success often brings intense public attention, which can make it difficult for performers to develop their artistic direction without pressure. Observers say his decision to step back from constant media exposure may have allowed her to focus more carefully on the next stage of her musical journey. During this time, she released several singles and maintained a presence online, but her overall public profile remained relatively low compared to the attention she received during her television debut. Fans who followed her career closely continued to share clips of her earlier performances and discuss her unique voice. These discussions helped maintain interest in her future even as new updates became less frequent. According to entertainment commentators, such periods of reflection often play an important role in helping young artists transition into more mature stages of their careers. Over the past year, subtle signs have suggested that may be preparing for a new phase in her career. Supporters monitoring her online updates noticed occasional studio photos, rehearsal clips, and brief musical previews that hinted at ongoing creative work. While these updates did not confirm specific projects, they were enough to spark conversations across fan communities. Industry analysts say that artists today often test audience interest through small hints before launching larger announcements. In this case, these signals created renewed curiosity about whether she might soon release new music or return to live performances. Music journalists also began discussing the possibility that the singer had been working quietly with producers and musicians behind the scenes. Although no official album details have been publicly confirmed, the growing number of studio-related updates has strengthened speculation that something significant may be in development. For many observers, these clues suggest that the quieter years may have been spent preparing carefully for a more complete return. One reason the public remains interested in its future is the impact of her distinctive voice during her early performances. Music critics frequently described her vocal style as unusually powerful for such a young performer. Her ability to channel classic rock and soul influences gave her performances a sound that felt both vintage and modern. Even after several years without major releases, those early appearances continue to circulate widely online. Fans regularly revisit recordings of her television performances, many of which have accumulated millions of views. Analysts say this lasting popularity reflects the emotional authenticity that audiences perceived in her singing. Unlike many artists whose early fame fades quickly, performances created a strong impression that continues to resonate. This ongoing interest is one of the reasons entertainment commentators believe a future comeback could attract substantial attention. If new music does arrive, many listeners will be eager to hear how her voice has evolved after years of experience and growth. Recent discussions within music circles suggest that may be working on new recordings that could appear in the near future. Sources familiar with studio activity say the singer has spent time developing original material that reflects her personal musical influences. While details about producers or collaborators have not been publicly confirmed, reports indicate that multiple sessions have taken place in recent years. Industry experts say such a process often involves experimentation with different sounds before a final direction is chosen. For artists transitioning from early television fame to long-term careers, original songwriting can play an important role in establishing artistic identity. Observers believe may be using this opportunity to shape a sound that represents her own creative voice, rather than relying primarily on cover performances. If these projects reach completion, they could mark an important milestone in her evolution as an artist. For fans who first discovered her powerful interpretations of classic songs, the prospect of hearing new original material is especially intriguing. Beyond studio recordings, there are also indications that may eventually return to live stages. Concert promoters and event organizers reportedly remain interested in the possibility of future appearances. During her early career, live performances were widely praised for their intensity and emotional energy. Even in televised performances, her stage presence stood out for its confidence and spontaneity. Critics frequently noted how dramatically her personality seemed to change once the music began. This transformation became one of the defining aspects of her performances and helped build a strong connection with audiences. If she does return to live events, observers believe that energy could once again become a central part of her appeal. However, industry experts say any comeback performances would likely be carefully planned to ensure that the singer feels fully prepared. A gradual return to live shows could help rebuild momentum while allowing audiences to reconnect with her music. As rumors about her future continue to circulate, online discussions among fans have grown increasingly active. Supporters across social media platforms regularly exchange updates and theories about possible new releases or concerts. Some fans believe that 2026 could represent the beginning of a new chapter in her career. Others suggest that any return will depend on the singer's personal creative goals rather than outside expectations. Analysts say this level of fan engagement can be a valuable advantage for artists considering a comeback. A dedicated audience often helps sustain momentum when new projects are announced. In this case, many fans have remained loyal since her earliest performances, continuing to share videos and discuss her music years later. This long-term support suggests that interest in her career has not disappeared. Instead, it has simply been waiting for the next development. If does release new material in the future, many observers expect it to reflect a more mature artistic perspective. Since her first appearance on television, she has grown from a teenager into a young adult artist. This natural progression often influences both songwriting themes and vocal delivery. Music historians note that many performers who begin their careers at a young age eventually redefine their sound as they gain experience. For such evolution could involve deeper emotional themes or more complex musical arrangements. Producers familiar with her style suggest that her strong vocal tone may allow her to explore a wide range of genres. From rock and blues to soul-inspired music, the possibilities remain open. Fans who admired the raw intensity of her earlier performances are curious to hear how those qualities may develop in future recordings. In the music industry, timing can play a major role in determining the success of a comeback. Entertainment analysts say artists who return after a quieter period often benefit from renewed curiosity. Audiences who remember their earlier success may feel eager to see how their story continues. At the same time, the artist must adapt to an industry that constantly evolves. New digital platforms, streaming strategies, and marketing approaches shape how music reaches listeners today. If chooses to relaunch her career in 2026, her team will likely consider these factors carefully. A strategic release schedule combined with carefully selected performances could help reintroduce her to both longtime fans and new audiences. Observers say the key will be balancing familiarity with fresh creative ideas. For now, many details about Courtney's future plans remain unconfirmed. However, the renewed discussion surrounding her name suggests that the story of her career is far from over. Fans, critics, and industry observers continue to watch for signs of what might come next. Whether through new recordings, live performances, or creative collaborations, the coming years could offer an opportunity for the singer to redefine her artistic identity. The same voice that once surprised millions of viewers may soon return with new experiences and new perspectives. If that moment arrives, it could mark the beginning of an important new chapter in her journey. For audiences who remember her unforgettable early performances, the possibility of seeing where her talent leads next remains an exciting prospect.